Greetings everyone, my name is Ettervel, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered several viewer-submitted levels, so in this part I'll be covering several levels from the most popular queue, starting up with this one. Not So Crystal Castle by Alumox, with 110 plays and a score of 23. As always, if you want one of our levels to be featured in a future part, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below, or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check out our levels covered, expand the description. So far it feels like a castle/fortress stage. And there I gained access to the Silver Tomahawk. That's going to be useful in several locations, I suppose. Good checkpoint placement. I'd rather just damage boost through the bent Ks because they take a lot longer to defeat normally. You know, the position of this hot dog was in a rather difficult environment, due to how the fireballs arced upwards. And also good checkpoint placement, putting it after that difficult room. I wasn't sure if there was actually a bottomless pit on the left where there would be Yoku blocks, so I wanted to deal with that Sniper Joe first. If I held left over there, I would have gained access to the E-tank, but I wasn't fast enough. But there's the end of the stage. This was a rather fair fortress stage. Kind of on the mess side, but it's a solid 5 out of 10. Didn't really have any focus on gimmicks though. I was hoping I could defeat Crystal Man without having to do a reset, but sadly it wasn't. So that was the end of Not So Crystal Castle. An okay castle stage, but I wouldn't call it a gem. Usually what happens in most of these most popular queue parts is that there's 1 or 2 gem levels, and the rest of them, or the majority of them, are rather forgettable. So second up is Powered Palace by SoundPizza, with 61 plays and a score of 18. So another fortress stage, I suppose. Taking place in an iced over facility. We do start out with at least 2 special weapons as well as a utility. I guess we're scaling the exterior of this castle and now we're entering this palace. Good checkpoint placement. A little bit more on the generous side, but I won't complain. Also, thank you for the large life energy capsule there. Another generous checkpoint placement. Well, I always prefer generous checkpoint placement or overly generous checkpoint placement over overly stingy ones. Suddenly a whopper mini-boss. Remember, 6 wiggles, then it'll throw out its rings. Oh, we don't need to go to the right, we just need to jump down. I should have just damage boosted here then. Oh, that's how we get through there. So I suppose this will be an oil slider segment. Looks to be. And here we gain access to the Crystal Eye as well as space. Neat. He doesn't have access to double jumping though, unfortunately. Apparently this was an optional pathway. If I took the left pathway on the upper portion, I'd drop down over here. But I wouldn't gain access to base or the Crystal Eye. I think I would have preferred staying as Mega Man due to his charge shot. If base had the ability to double jump, sure, I would have picked base instead. But as it stands right now, it's more of a subjective choice. I'd honestly prefer Mega Man over here. I liked the previous stage more than this one. This one had less of an aesthetic appeal, I'd say. This is probably a 4.5 out of 10. Third up is The Curse of the Mummy by The Snake, with 51 plays and a score of 16. Mega Man 5 charge shot as well as sliding. And we already started with a bit of spikes. I'm already liking this aesthetic combination here. The combination of the background and foreground tile sets, I mean. A lot more shiny and golden. Again, rather generous checkpoint placement, but not complaining. I'll always take this over overly stingy checkpoint placement. Nice introduction of those Docrons. And if you take the upper pathway, we are rewarded with a free E-Tank. The stage's difficulty progression though seems a bit lopsided. The first part of the stage, the introduction, was a bit more difficult than this, but I suppose I can't really give any judgments right now until I reach the end of the stage. Another free E-Tank. I call it free because there was barely any challenge to get to it. And this checkpoint placement was even more generous than the last one was. Here it makes more sense because suddenly we have spikes everywhere, both on the ceiling and on the floor, so it made sense to put a checkpoint just before this segment. But honestly, you could have the number of checkpoints in the stage and it'd still be fine. Is this the beginning of the stage? If that's the case, I could have just run to the left at any time and completed the stage. There's no barriers in the way after all that I destroyed, so I'll have to double check in the future. I'll add an annotation in the description with my findings on this. Well, okay then. Pharaoh was content to keep doing his Pharaoh wave attack over there. That rarely happens, but he decided to do it over here. I like this stage more than the previous two, especially in terms of aesthetics and the fact it had some level of challenge. A bit more than the previous two, but the challenge progression was a bit lopsided outside the first and last portions of the stage. The last portion of the stage was definitely the hardest part of the stage with the bed and ceiling spikes, but the first part of the stage was the second hardest, I'd say. Forward up is Big Bass Level 1 Collapsing City by the Dark Lord, with 101 plays and a score of 43. I'm not sure if it's Big Bass or Big Bass. Yeah, it's Big Bass actually. And in this level, Bass has the ability to double jump. We'll also be unlocking a new special weapon along the way. I guess we're entering the city now. So I guess that was the city streets, and now we're in the city sewers. And here I gain access to the Gemini laser, and I guess I'll loop back from the right. Which is exactly what happens. That was a rather short detour. I thought it'd be a bit longer. And that's it. I was expecting the stage to go by 3 to 4 times longer. This has a neat concept in terms of aesthetics and level progression, but it just ended here. Kind of disappointing if you were to ask me. If this level went by at least twice or 3 times as long, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10, but as it stands right now, a 4 or 4.5 out of 10 due to how short it is, and incomplete. It feels like it abruptly ends. Fifth up is BassDass, Just Surf and Don't Move by Kradking with 98 plays and a score of 37. Is it BassDass or is it BassDass? It's been quite a while since I last played through an auto-playing stage, at least 3 or 4 dozen parts ago. I haven't played through an autoplay level that heavily utilizes the oil slider before. And it was pretty fun to behold, so I will give it a thumbs up. Good work, Kradking. Currently this is my favorite level to part, even though there's barely any gameplay here. Sixth up is Pharaoh Stage Reversed by Reverse Man, with 38 plays and a score of 13. And we start in the boss arena, so of course, we're going through the stage in reverse, and we have all the special weapons from Mega Man 4 that are in this engine currently. We have one of the primary assets or gimmicks from Pharaoh stages in this engine, that being the quicksand, but we're missing those Pharaoh platforms. I guess that previous room was one of those locations or areas with the Pharaoh platforms, but it was retrofitted. Here's another one where we replace the Pharaoh platforms with green footholders. The sad thing is that this level is still a bit more creative than that plagiarism stage in Magmal 2. I don't remember there being a pathway to the right, so let me double check it. It was just for item 1. Sadly, we do not have access to those sand scorpions. Otherwise, this segment would be a lot harder. I mean, I'm just circumventing most of the challenges by sliding through the sands. And here we are just behind the start of the stage, where there's a new boss arena for Pharaoh. It was basically Pharaoh stage done in reverse, though with some replacements done to the sections that originally had those Pharaoh tops. Well, I'll give it a thumbs up because it's exactly what it says on the tin. 7th up is Are You Throwing Tadpoles and Frogs in the Toilet Again? No Mom by Elven Hero 1 with 42 plays and a score of 12. So a Toadman stage starring those tadpole enemies as well as the croakers. I guess this is the boy or the mother. So down we go into the toilet. Okay, that was fast. I was expecting to go down the drainage pipes first, but apparently not. This was the shortest level of the part. It was based off the joke in the title, so... But as I said, I was hoping for it to go longer, or you fight Toadman at the bottom of the drainage pipe, outside in the sewers, maybe. Eighth up is Gravity Reverse updated by Viciafo with 45 plays and a score of 11. My apologies if I butchered your username. Hopefully there's no health gate checks over here. So this plays like a pacifist stage. I also need to be a bit careful here not to get instigated by the Yoku blocks. I was expecting more of these segments to have Yoku blocks trying to telefrag me. I would have preferred if the background was a little bit less drab though. Like something a bit more colorful. Oh, I see. Once we gained access to the gravity hold, we basically flipped the stage upside down. I was wondering why several aspects of the stage, the level design were very familiar looking. And now gravity is flipped once again. Very neat. This was a neat concept of a stage, but I would have preferred if it went for twice as long. Took the gravity flipping gimmick further. I'll still give it a thumbs up due to having a nice concept though. Ninth up is Mega Man Activates a Drill and Cutman Dies by Alumox from Discord, with 47 plays and a score of 10. Just need to run to the right, activate the drill, and watch as it just kills Cutman by crushing him against the wall. Or that can happen. I thought the rolling drill would just insta-gib Cutman here and there, but it took a short while. Probably when his blades came back to him. Well, I'll give it a thumbs up because it followed up on the joke. And what happened followed exactly what was stated in the title. Can't forget the server error to happen in one of these parts, it always seems to happen. So 10th and final level of the part is Yoku Room's Use Your Mind by Davud, with 70 plays and a score of 25. I see. It's gonna be a Yoku Block Challenge Room. Thank you for putting a checkpoint at the beginning of every section. You really need to act fast here in order to survive. And pay attention to what's going on. Oh, I should have waited there. My bad. If only I could reach one of those energy elements. That's a neat way of using the keys to guide the players onwards and see where the next Yoku blocks will roughly be. Quick boomerang, and now we face Metal Man. This was a really neat gimmick stage utilizing the Yoku blocks. I would have preferred if it went by 10 screens longer, had 10 more challenges, but this was a short but sweet stage. Unfortunately, this set of most popular queue levels doesn't have any outright gems in my opinion. Oh sure, there are some levels which I do like some things in them, like Yoku Rooms, Gravity Reverse Updated may need the Gravity Reverse gimmick, as well as the autoplay level Bass or BassDass. But the other stages, they didn't really appeal to me as much, so I'd say there are no outright favorites in this part. I will give an honorable mention to Yoku Rooms, as well as BassDass. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more viewer-submitted levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!